Hey guys, it's Clay from Clear Critique. A few days ago, I watched Demon Slayer Infinity Train, an anime film that serves as a direct follow-up to a whole season of episodes. As someone who isn't very familiar with anime and who hasn't even watched season 1, I thought I'd review it. But what? Why? Because I can lend a different perspective. How this film works as a season 2 of sorts, whether it does justice to the show or a manga, how emotionally attached I am to these characters before clicking play, none of these will affect my opinion in any way. Not to say all of that's irrelevant, but I think it'd be interesting to discuss the film with virtually zero context. By itself, as a film, is Demon Slayer Infinity Train good? And can one recommend it to someone who isn't caught up? So with that disclaimer, you can imagine me feeling very lost when the film started, but I have to say I'm impressed with how quickly yet smoothly it establishes this world and the characters. After only a small bit of screen time, I know who wants to impress whom, their roles in the story, and their personalities and quirks. Also, the core concept of 5 wieldable elements that branch off into other abilities intrigued me immediately. I'd say the first 40 minutes of this film was the best in terms of pacing. There's a fascinating sequence where the characters are put to sleep and child assassins, of sorts, tether themselves to the heroes and sneak into dreams that are created to placate the hosts. It's like Inception meets Possessor, and as a newbie to the franchise, this is a brilliant way to introduce me to the characters, since I'm watching their memories and fantasies. I love this whole section. And I love the villains. The first villain boasts an opulent design, a detachable talking hand, the power to put people to sleep, and a voice that sounds like he had just painted all of his nails immaculately while rubbing one out. And speaking of voice acting, Natsuki Hane, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, does a fantastic job as a protagonist. Not only does he do all the in-between dialogue well, but there's a tragic scene I won't spoil where the actor really throws every piece of himself into the performance. The second villain, while not as interesting, is still visually engaging, and I like how both villains brim with arrogance but in opposite ways. Every demon in this film looks demonic, and I can't overstate how many films miss the mark on that. And of course, you're all waiting for me to mention this attribute. Yes, the animation in Demon Slayer is often breathtaking. The water conjuring instantly reminded me of the classic artwork The Great Wave off Kanagawa. The fire effect also drips and sloshes like water and adds a nice contrast to the metallic and grassy settings. Even small bits of animation are striking. I'm sure this is derived from the original manga, but I appreciate the attention given to eyes, such as the main character's near octagons, the first villain's mismatched ones, or a woman early on whose irises resemble weathered wood. And it's not just to be appealing, certain visual choices help the story. A gruesome flashback is all the more grotesque when all the color is drained out except for the blood. There's a certain 10-second sequence featuring the kid with the electric powers saving a girl. The animation and editing coupled with a really cool music cue make it possibly my favorite short moment in the film, and it's a great way to energize the pacing. Lots of good stuff to admire, but now we gotta go bad. Obviously, I'm not going to take off any points for being confused or for anything I should know from previous material, but like I said, I didn't get lost very often. Part of that is the strong world building in the first act, and part of that is because the movie won't stop telling me everything that happens the moment after it happens. A man cuts off a demon's head with one triumphant blow, and it looks gorgeous. Wow, says someone, he killed that demon with one blow. Yep, I know. Thanks, kid. That was so 5 seconds ago. Our main hero manages to wake up after a powerful, heartbreaking sequence, and then sees his friends on the train. Oh look, it's this person, and that person, and ropes. We must have been put to sleep. Yes, duh. Stop narrating and help your friends, dipshit. This happens over and over and over again, and it drives me nuts. What makes it more frustrating is that it's not like the film doesn't know how to use exposition. There's a brief battle plan given by the mentor character, and it's perfect. Short sentences, centered entirely on the train layout and who is handling what. The brevity of it is what makes it badass. I am aware this is a trope of anime, but in the context of this film, it's a bad trope and eviscerates the excitement of every scene. Imagine being in a race car going 120 miles an hour while listening to the Doom soundtrack. But every 30 seconds, the car initiates its parking brake and the radio says, "Wow, look how fast you're going, isn't this awesome?" Either give us a breath of silence to let us marvel, or keep the action going. Having the film stop everything so characters can go, "OMG, I'm so excited," only reminds me of this bit from Egoraptor's Ocarina of Time review.
What the fuck is this? Oh my god, I'm amazed! Who cares that he's amazed? I want to be amazed!
Exactly. Trust me, I criticize any faulty trope I see, and American cinema has plenty. Adding romantic subplots where they aren't needed? Bad trope. Squeezing in awkward social commentary with all the subtlety of a wink to the camera? Bad trope. And yes, explaining things we already know in the middle of an action scene is a bad trope. In addition, there's an obstacle I can best refer to as purple goo that should feel like raising of stakes but visually feels like a downgrade. The computer animation doesn't gel with the beautifully rendered characters, and not until it starts growing eyeballs, yes eyeballs, does it become anything worth writing home about. The last fight scene works as an intense climax. Every punch hurts to watch, the fire effects are beautiful, and my jaw was agape during several moments such as a certain step-by-step cutting motion. However, the characters don't shut up. At least they don't stop fighting, but half their lines are repeated and unnecessary. So much can be said without dialogue, and with animation this good, you would think that the film would have more faith in it to do the job. There's an amazing 90-minute film in here, and that's a strong word I use with conviction, because while my criticisms surely pissed off some of you, please recall the first half of this video. I enjoyed this film more than I expected. So yes, Demon Slayer Infinity Train is good, and yes, I do think those who aren't caught up can take a trip on this train, as long as they know the conductor will interrupt them every minute. 7 out of 10. So did you watch this movie, and if so, what did you think? Would you like to see more reviews of animation? Comment below. If you want to support the channel, please subscribe, click the bell for updates, and check out some of my other reviews and series rankings. And as always, thanks for watching.